Hey guys, what's happening? I'm your host Jibin, here today as a part of reviving an old project from the Worldbuilding Discord server, which if you are not a part of yet, please do join. It's really fun. If you've been a long-term follower of the Worldbuilding magazine, you may already know about this project. But in case you don't, let me tell you about it. Postantera is a world-building project about a planet of the same name. In the future, two species of humans land on the planet as a part of space colonization and survival, as the sun was definitely expanding and the Earth would soon become uninhabitable. Postantera is actually a spin off of another project made by a guy. For the first episode, we're going to start by looking at the planet that has been created by the old collaborators and adding a few plant species in order to get a view of a typical landscape in the habitable portions of the planet. The reason that I am starting with plants and landscapes is because the planet obviously existed before the humans got there, so it would be good to have a base where the rest of the epic saga can eventually take place. The saga itself is potentially never ending. Anybody can join in and make stories in the world as long as it follows basic laws and world building of this particular world. As there is a lot of documentation about the characters and story to draw from, we can relatively easily create entities for the world like plants, animals, and locations. So without further ado, let's actually get into the video. Postantera has one giant landmass and is surrounded by water, and there's more land than water too. This makes it a relatively dry and arid world, where rainfall is relatively uncommon. Postantera does have cold poles, where it snows. There are some temperate areas where it is relatively more habitable, especially for humans, thanks to rivers, lakes, and isolated seas. We will explore more geography and hardcore stuff about the planet in later episodes. As of right now, we're going to take a look at some of the big, broad groups of plants that exist in the world that sort of has all of the species. We call them plants as they behave almost exactly the way that plants do on Earth, with an exception of one phylum. As of right now, according to the World Annual, 5 major phylums have been discovered. We'll be looking at the examples of 3 of them today. The first 2 are Umbrellaphyta and Aerophyta. Umbrellaphyta plants are those plants that have an umbrella-shaped structure that functions similar to leaves. According to the World Annual, this phylum is the most advanced of all plant phylums. This could translate to mean that they have had the most variety in speciation as well as advancement. And that level of advancement can only come through natural selection. It must mean that these plants may have had a long lifespan and rapid reproduction cycles that allow for adaptations quickly through natural selection, which can also support them to reach bigger heights or more massive proportions. These plants are also the fruiting and flowering plants of Postantera. The very little edible material that humans later on get from the planet is from this phylum mainly, like the Christ fruit, which plays an important role in the story, as we will see in future episodes. Humans did bring crops and animals from their planet too, so as to grow familiar food on the new planet. And it's good that they did, as most plants in Postantera are extremely poisonous for humans. Currently discovered species of Umbrellaphyta includes the blue buttons or Umbrellium buttoneum, the Umbrellium nitium or night umbrella, and Umbrellium christfruteum or the christfruit tree, along with grass like red grass or Umbrellium gracium, which is a conical umbrellaphyte. Then we have aerophytes. Aerophytes' main distinction is that they are plants that have a specialized sac-like organ somewhere in their body, or throughout, that stores hydrogen. It's currently unknown as to what purpose this serves other than growing extremely big at times and being able to detach and float away, like the Wanderers, a sort of airborne version of the tumbleweed. This was one of the latest ideas that arose from the Discord server and was proposed by the Elm Tree. They recommended the Wanderers to be used by different airborne creatures as nests. It was a really good idea, so thank you for that. The 2 examples of aerophytes we have are Aerophytum explodium, or the exploding stems, and the Wanderers. The Wanderers, though, are just parts of different species that detaches from them at a certain stage and are not themselves classified as any species. As for their uses to humans, they have been sought out to be used as fuel sources. Hydrogen is a very efficient fuel, and the Eternum human civilization has mastered hydrogen fusion centuries ago, which certainly helped the civilizations that had access to this phylum of plants to advance quickly. And by the way, a turnum is another species of human that are actually immortal. They're very important to the story, and we'll get to them in later episodes. The final one for today's video are the mucophyta. Mucophyta plants are characterized by their bodies that are covered in mucus-like substance that lets them float on water. These plants are largely poisonous to humans, but their mucus contains helpful chemicals that can aid in medicine and the production of certain goods like leather and paper. Currently, we have 3 different species of mucophytes: Mucophytus pineus, or the blue hedgehog lily, Mucophytus christionus, or Christo's lamp, and Mucophytus oleifus, or glass olives. These are the 3 main phylums of plants that we are going to cover today. I'd also decided to use these and sort of make a potential landscape painting of Postantera to sort of visualize how an untouched part of the planet would actually look like. I went for an overall warmer palette because, according to the World Anvil, Postantera is a planet with a lot of iron, causing the microbes in the planet to work with the mineral a lot and eventually become the dominant color of life on the planet. And so here is Red Shroom Valley. This is essentially how the project is going to go. I'm simply a messenger, to be honest. At least that's what I'd like to be. I want to illustrate your ideas on this project. There is still more to be told about the world of Postantera and more to be illustrated, so I'll be doing that for sure. Of course, there are things that I may have missed because the project was being built up for a long time before it got shut down. So if you are someone who has worked on the project before it was shut down and think that I have missed something, do let me know and I will make sure to correct it in the next video. As for the people who want to contribute to this project, hop onto the Discord server and enter the Postantera channel, after which we can discuss ideas and I can illustrate them and present them on the next video. If you haven't already, please do check out the Worldbuilding magazine's latest issues and any issues that you might have missed out on. I will leave all of the links to everything, the World Anvil and the Discord server, and even some of the Google Docs if you want to have a look at it, in the descriptions below. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.